Good evening, good night, good morning, whatever time zone you're in. You're tuning into the Chit Chat Chew Show with your co-host Uno and
It's Jade or Aisha, whichever. So, greetings from wherever you may be, whether it's the East Coast, Midwest, West Coast, wherever. We greet you with all the greetings, peace, and love, and all of that. We hope that you guys had a wonderful, wonderful weekend. So, we got some really great discussion today. And so we hope that you tune in. And if you have some questions, I mean, put it in the comment box. Leave your thoughts. I mean, there's no judgment zone over here. We love when we get dialogue about, any topics or discussions that we have. This is not about us. This is about you guys. You can like what you like at the end of the day to take you away from your reality or whatever. But also, there's real things that's going on in the world. And it's just nice to know that you can have an open mind about different things and just have an open dialogue and discussion. So,
whether you
agree to disagree is all good. So, Uno will be starting off. And while she's, starting off, I'm going to be inviting a lot of you guys on this group as well. So if you see my head down, I am being attentive, but I am also inviting some of you guys. So if you're not doing too much, just chime in. You may not be able to make the whole show. That's all good. But whatever you can make, we're very appreciative. So with that being said, we're going to jump right into it.
Okay, so the topics we have for tonight is going to be some pretty interesting, thought-provoking topics, okay? Really some social topics that's really something that we decide to talk about that should be talked about. And also just one side too of, kind of diving into the entertainment too, kind of tying everything in because like I said, we talk about some social topics as also racial. So we have Kanye West. I mean, I'm sure everybody's been seeing it all over social media. They've seen it on the major news outlets about him, being on Twitter, tweeting out various tweets about just how he feels about the world and those who are in control, et cetera, about his love for Trump, blah, blah, blah. And then his whole controversial speech he made, live speech that he made at TMZ. So we're going to talk about that, his support for MAGA, which is Make America Great Again, and really just his connection with Trump. We're going to talk about the 3 black men that were lynched in the South, the specific places that I'm talking about, 2 black men in Oklahoma and 1 black man in Atlanta.
So can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Just to make sure, is this video public for everybody to see?
Yes, this should be public. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Just want to make sure.
Now, if they can't see it, they're going to have to join the group. That's the only way they're going to be able to see it unless, it'd be one thing if he was on our regular page and they could just come on. But on this, if you're not a part of it, you have to join the group. So, what was it? Oh, yeah. So I was talking about the 3 black men that were hung or lynched. I say, for lack of a better word, lynched in the South. Also, we're going to discuss the very unfortunate situation that happened at a daycare where there was a black child who was beaten up by a 2-year-old. Okay, so we're going to talk about that. We also are going to discuss a black man that was kicked by the Miami police. So this recently happened. So yes, we have a lot to cover. So that we're going to get right into it. I'm just going to go ahead and talk about Kanye because this seems to be the biggest thing right now. And everyone has their opinions, their feelings, their emotions, their views, their perspectives, blase, blase. I've had my share of opinions and comments and views of just this whole thing. Everybody's not agreeing with what he said as far as slavery is a choice. Some people agree with what he said, but at the same time, with his controversial comments, he lost a lot of people, specifically the black audience, because that's a very sensitive subject. And those one of those topics you really have to tread lightly. And if you're going to discuss something like that, you have to come with, the right information and have legitimate facts and having sources to back up what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? Also coming from different angles and views where black people can digest what he's saying, or they could have digested what he said a lot better. So my feelings on what he said when he said slavery was a choice, I had to disagree with that. What the people that agree with Kanye, they're not understanding that. Okay, listen, everybody knows that slavery. Okay, we have to break it in two parts. He didn't specifically, he didn't specifically highlight on what kind of slavery he was talking about. He just said slavery is a choice, and he just really embarked on that. He didn't say mental slavery, he didn't say spiritual slavery, he didn't say whatever. He just said slavery. So when you say something like that, especially as a black man who has a status and is in the public eye and has a lot of influence on the hip hop culture, and people listen to him and take what he says seriously, they're going to take it another way, because when you think slavery, for black people, when we think slavery, we think, slave masters, slaves, on the field, being lynched, killed, hung, stabbed, you name it. All of the abuse that we went through. That's where our minds went, and just really what our ancestors went through. You know what I'm saying? Whatever connection that may be. Even black people that was really hurt by that or was sensitive to what he said, had grandparents, who went through that or experienced that same outcome. So it would have been better I think if he had just said mental slavery, then I can see where everyone can agree on that, because I feel like at some point there is no excuse for blacks to be mental slaves for another 200 years. That's just outrageous. But he didn't say it in that way. That's the point. I mean, that's the problem that you capers don't get. It's not so much that we don't know that we mentally enslaved. It's the fact that he wasn't specific in the words he chose. So when he said 400 years, he didn't really give all the detail within the 400 years. He mean a portion of that, like one half of that, or maybe 1/4 of that was physical slavery. That's like 200 years, almost 200 years, right? That's physical slavery. Because at some point it got abolished, and then when you talk about 200 years, that's when you get into mental slavery. That's a whole nother monster in itself. I don't feel like no one chooses to be a slave, because if it was that easy, don't you think we wouldn't be in the situation we are now? If everyone says it's a choice, then how come you're still in your predicament right now? If slavery is a choice, you say, then how come you still in your home? You're under a roof, a house, or if you're in an apartment or wherever you stay, you're under a roof. You go to a job. You control. You pay bills. You buy clothes that you gain nothing out of, really, because financially is not investing your future. Everything's controlled, even from your bank to credit cards or debit cards to even when you're in jobs, the positions you have, like everything's controlled. Even what you eat, the water you drink. So if it's slavery is a choice, then how come we're still in this position right now as black people? Why are we still in this condition? Don't you think we would have got out of this already then? If that's the case, if it's that easy. So that means it's not that easy. So slavery is not a choice. So I have to disagree with that. Now when you say mental slavery, that's a whole nother story. Now I can agree that yes, mental slavery is a choice. I can admit that, but I don't want to bark too much on that, but I just wanted to just give a little bit of how I felt about it. I just disagree. I just feel like, and I feel like to me too with Kanye, I feel like all this was a publicity stunt. I feel like he did this for financial gain and get some attention on him because he does have projects to push, not just his own, but he got one coming out with Nas. He got one coming out with Kid Cudi. I think he got one coming out with what's her name? It's with that basketball player. Shoot, because she was in his videos, one of Kanye's videos. She was dancing, kind of like how Jennifer Beals was back in Flash Dance.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name?
Can't think of it, so I'm the wrong person, but I'm sure you.
Oh my God, she was Emmett Sherbert, that basketball player. Tiana Taylor.
Okay. Yes, Tiana.
So with that being said, and plus he hasn't been hot for a good while. Okay, he just lost his touch. He hasn't been selling no albums. So what better way, in his mind, what better way to sell records than to make some controversy? So yeah, he got the people talking, and I hope he's getting the feedback he's hoping for. But I just take what he says with a grain of salt. I just feel like you saying all this because you coming from a place, you've been in a bubble all this time, and you spoke nothing of these issues for the past 10 years because you've been so consumed in your rich life and you living in Calabasas and you got a big space area land in Utah, So a person that's rich has a different mindset. They have the resources to do a lot of things. They have access to a lot of things, as opposed to a regular black folk who has to struggle every day to survive and maintain, so for him, the certain things he said, not just that, but there's a few points that I did agree with on the TMZ, in his TMZ speech. I'm not going to say I didn't acknowledge anything he said. There was a few good points he did speak on, but that slavery thing, I can't fuck with that. So I can't do it. No, not at all. So with that being said, I'm going to read this article so I can give you the update on TMZ speech that he had for those who have not been caught up on what's been going on, because you probably don't keep up with all this mess anyway, but I'm going to get you abrupt, okay? So I'm going to read from foxnews.com. Kanye West says 400 years of slavery was a choice for African Americans. Following a string of Twitter rants last week, Kanye West turned up at the TMZ offices on Tuesday to film TMZ Live and made controversial comments about slavery that caused offense. Things began when West was asked about his recent support of President Trump, and his answer turned to the concept of freedom, prompting some controversial words about the United States' history with slavery. He says, when you hear about slavery for 400 years, that sounds like a choice. Like you were there for 400 years and it's all of you all, like we're mentally in prison. Like slavery goes too direct to the idea of blacks, he said. So prison is something that unites us as one race, blacks and whites being one race with a human race. His comments caused at least one TMZ staffer to clap back, which is Van, Shouts out to Van. He really stood his ground. He represented well. I applaud that brother for speaking up. West and the staffer were filmed shouting across the newsroom, abandoning the interview format of TMZ Live. He was filming TMZ Live, which is always filmed in the office. And he just stood up and walked around and pretty much did the interview for the entire office. A TMZ insider who was there during filming told Fox News he came with Candace Owens, which I'm sure y'all know who that is. That's that black woman that support his whole ideology, his free thinking ideas. Okay, so I don't have to say anymore. He came with Candace Owens, so the interview was controversial to say the least. In the clip from TMZ staffer Van Lathan, that's the brother that stood up and took defense to what Kanye West said. Confronts West following the slavery comments. Do you feel that I'm feeling? Do you feel that I'm being free and thinking free? West shouts in the office newsroom. Lathan fires back. I actually don't think you're thinking anything. I think what you're doing right now is actually the absence of thought. And the reason that I feel like that is, Kanye, you're entitled to your opinion. You're entitled to believe whatever you want. But there's a fact and real life consequence behind everything you just said while you are making music and being an artist and living the life that you've earned by being a genius. The rest of us in society have to deal with these threats to our lives. We have to deal with the marginalization that has come from the 400 years of slavery that you said for our people was a choice. Frankly, I'm disappointed. I'm appalled, and brother, I'm unbelievably hurt by the fact that you have morphed into something to me that's not real. And that's another thing Kanye don't get. It might not be physical slavery, but we still suffer with slavery. It's just on another level now. West approaches him apologizing for hurting him. But Lathan just keeps lecturing the rapper about how his voice is too big. It didn't take long for the clip to garner backlash on social media. So, of course, Twitter went off on it. Well, Black Twitter, I have to be specific. Black Twitter, for the most part, went off. Not to say other races didn't, but mostly blacks went off on what he said on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. It was all over. So, what else do we have here? So, okay, here's this. All right, so this is Kanye's tweet. All right, which I posted on my personal page. I just posted it today on the Chit Chat 2 Show podcast. So check it out to see what he tweeted. To make myself clear, of course I know that slaves did not get shackled and put on a boat by free will, he wrote. My point is for us to have stayed in that position, even though the numbers were on our side, means that we were mentally enslaved. They cut out our tongues so we couldn't communicate to each other. I will not allow my tongue to be cut, he continued. They hung the most powerful in order to force fear into the others. They could no longer stop our voice. Early on Tuesday, West posted a nearly 2-hour interview with TV personality Charlamagne the God, and y'all should check that out too. He did an expound on his comments on TMZ, talk with Charlamagne about music projects, his incident with Jay-Z and Beyonce when he went on a rant last year on doing his tour. He talked about his relationship between Jay-Z and Beyonce, and talked about Kim Kardashian, et cetera, et cetera. He had a lot to talk about, and he was just open about everything and how he felt. So you guys check it out if you want to. Everybody's not a fan of Kanye right now, so I don't know if you're going to, but if not, oh well. So he covered a lot of topics, and he says this: that was the moment that I wanted to use Bitcoin. When I saw Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill, he said, it's like when you just see all the slave movies. It's like, why do you got to keep reminding us about slavery? Why don't you put Michael Jordan on the $20 bill? So that's the article from foxnews.com.
Okay.
Any thoughts on this, Jade?
I'm just really trying to make sure that this is posted, that this is public.
Okay.
I don't see anybody on right now, but that's okay too. The story still goes on. The show still goes on, people.
Yeah, it's public.
Okay, so it's public. So first, let me just kind of say today's today's topics are black and white to me. Okay, so if that's something that you can't handle, black or white, I respect that. It may not be your twist. It may not be your thing. You may not care about none of these articles, but you can't escape it at the end of the day. Okay, because these are real facts. This is not Real Housewives of Atlanta or any other city that you may watch. And again, let me just say, I don't disrespect it, because if that's something that you like to watch as a means of you enjoy it for entertainment, or it helps you escape your own personal life, that's okay. But this is real facts that go on, what we talk about outside of the reality shows. And at some point in time, you're going to have to face it. Because me, the way my brain is set up, I believe to a certain degree, I am affected by it, even if it's not somebody that's close to my family, but because this is real life. And please never say never that it can't happen to you, because you do not know about what's going to really happen. We can chant, pray, do mantras, do whatever we do, but you just never know in life what's going to happen. That's how I feel. So I just wanted to put that out there. If you're comfortable having different dialogues, I don't care. I don't have to agree with you, and you don't have to agree with me. So like Ono said, we can agree to disagree, and that's okay. Dialogue is healthy. It's fake to me if we do agree on everything.
Yeah.
That's not realistic for me.
That's not healthy
or healthy
building with each other.
Right.
Nah, I feel like
because
that's not
everybody's
healthy.
not going to agree. And there's not only white people, but there are black people that agree with Kanye. There are black and white people that agree with Trump. They Trump supporters. If that's you, so be it. You still can come on here and leave comments. I'm good with that.
Right.
You know? So, and to answer your question, I'm kind of diddling off of what you said.
Mm-hmm.
He's way past the sunken place.
Who you telling?
And I really think that because he's in that whole entertainment elite world, and please believe it is real for those that still don't believe that the elite does exist.
The Illuminati exists
or the
too.
Illuminati exists.
It exists.
The entertainment world. You know, I take what he say with a grain of salt as well.
Me too.
There were some small, fine things that I did agree with. And again, it's piggybacking off of what you said as far as mental slavery. I mean, I can only speak in my black and brown community. Enough of us are still in that mental slavery. I mean, I hear it at work. I hear it just out in the street, the way people talk. It's like, I don't know, because they might be so deep with the mental slavery. Maybe perhaps they can't come out of it. But we there. I can't speak for any other races. But we, as our black and brown community, race, whatever we are, definitely in that mental slavery. And plus, as far as just slavery in general, none of us today, unless you're probably the ancestors of those, because that's been many years ago. How can we? It's not a choice. Like, who asked to get their ass beaten, get raped? Not only light-skinned sisters, but the brown-skinned sisters too that was in the house,
and even darker sisters,
and the darker sisters. Who asked? Whether they was in the house or out in the field. That was not a choice to get beaten and raped consistently, day by day by day. That's not a choice. And for the people who did take that chance, to escape. It was for, I believe, a purpose, a mission. Kudos to them, because how many people today doing that?
None.
How many in general?
I ain't gonna say none. I ain't gonna say that.
How many in general really risking like their lives for a purpose?
It's minuscule.
And you're not scared of what that backlash may be.
It's minuscule.
Right.
It's not too many.
And so to me, again, the way my brain's set up, I think they kind of paved the way.
They did.
For others.
Yeah.
They
definitely paved the way.
I'm not saying it was all peaches and cream back then, because it truly was not. I'm sure it wasn't, and I know I wasn't back there. But I wouldn't, dare say it was a choice for how they lived or survived. A lot of them really could not escape or do the things that they wanted to do.
True.
But I know today in 2018, we need to stop being scared. We need to be proactive. Okay. And I say that a lot. I'm ready to move past marching, honestly. And I've had my share of being in plenty of marching for good causes and rallying, but it's time to be more proactive, and let's just stop talking. Let's really be doers. So that's kind of where I'm at, because because we have these conversations way before we get on the show.
We do it all the time.
And so, I do agree with quite a few things that Uno has said. And so, also, I'm not sure if you're finished with your article.
Oh, no, I'm finished with it. I just wanted to expound on what you were saying. I wanted to add on, had an additional.
Also, I was going somewhere with it. I also believe, in agreement with what Uno was saying, I believe like a lot of this, I believe that this is news. He is he has deadlines and things, so I do believe that it is a means of Kanye getting us to listen, because if we wouldn't be all in social media and on the news and all that, and we wouldn't be on this show talking about this. So he has our attention, okay, but he also has a deadline, right? So, are we gonna buy his record? You know what I'm saying?
Good question.
Are we gonna buy his record if it's something that we like?
Are we gonna go to his concerts?
Are we gonna go to his concerts?
He just had one in Australia and nobody showed up.
So, what does that look like?
That's ugly.
He can't get out unless it's deaf to me.
Ain't no to you. That's what it is. That entertainment game is blood in and blood out. You're not getting out no other way.
I think this is all, of course, still eating him up. Also, in regards to his mother,
which she kept him grounded.
Which she did keep him grounded. But I also believe that she was a sacrifice via Kanye, her son.
Right. When he actually encouraged her to get the surgery.
So,
she felt the pressures of the industry to keep up with the Tina Lawsons and any older woman that looked like something.
Right.
She definitely felt the pressure of, being like them. So she wanted to look a certain way, feeling insecure. But at the same time, Kanye West did kind of encourage her to go ahead with the surgery. So
yeah, I think it's a combination of everything. So I wanted to read this article that's coming from the New York Times, and it's posted May 7th. It says, "The Heartbreak of Kanye West." It seems so long ago, but it has been only a week since Mr. West came out of the closet as the same dragon-loving, Trump-supporting, slave-shaming, alt-fat fire breather. Last weekend, Saturday Night Live, hosted by the actor and musician Donald Glover, turned Mr. West week-long trolling into the horror film it felt like. But ending the week laughing at Mr. Glover's send-up of Mr. West hasn't made watching him unravel any less infuriating or heartbreaking. And there's links, but again, these links will be posted up. Whatever videos is connected to it, definitely check it out if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Just check it out. Mr. West thought his recent return to Twitter after an almost year-long hiatus with relentless, contrarian stream of consciousness tweets from the minuscule Negro corner of the alt-right world would read like a takeover of Twitter. But that's not how the platform works. Twitter runs Twitter, and Black Twitter swiftly handed Mr. West his lunch.
I'm sure they did. I've seen them.
Mm-hmm.
Tweets.
Mr. West was reading blowback and did exactly what a person does when he or she is losing. He dug in. Black Twitter had seen that show before when Mr. West posed for cameras in the lobby of Trump Tower in December 2016 after being hospitalized. The anger at the rapper was because he has allowed himself to be a useful idiot for a useful idiot. Like
That
Mr. Trump.
Pretty much sums it up.
Right. Who also brags about not reading books. Mr. West is parroting the racist right wing Mr. West is parroting the racist right wing talking points he has learned from watching YouTube videos. The same white power wing nuts who trolled him for years as a way of defending Taylor Swift's honor are now over the moon to hear the rapper blame President Barack Obama for not ameliorating gang violence in Chicago, to see Mr. West at the office of the gossip website TMZ blaming his own enslaved ancestors for their enslavement. Because the trolls won the election, the dangerous drivel sometimes becomes policy, as the musician John Legend tried to tell Mr. West in a series of reasonable texts that Mr. West immediately published. Those talking points from Alex Jones and company perpetuate mass criminalization and incarceration, deportation, and worse. Child, these pictures is horrible. When a poll shows 20% of Trump supporters would have opposed the freeing of slaves, is more than a fun punctuation ending the night on cable news. Those talking points run in tandem with textbooks used in Texas schools that describe slaves as workers and their journey to America as immigration. The denial of the sadism and brutality of slavery is perpetuated when there's another side arguing to keep statues and symbols of the Confederacy in public places, and when plantation tours explain the generosity with which slave owners cared for their cattle. I'm going to read down a little bit because it is okay. So I'm going to read these two endings, but you guys definitely interested, read the full article. Mr. West rose as the economy collapsed, and his open insecurity spoke to a generation whose struggle was the housing market collapse, not a crack epidemic. He is the son of a single mother, a professor who raised him abroad for a semester or two in China. His story was more like President Obama's than 50 Cent's. This new generation didn't necessarily believe in crowns, but Mr. West was their guy, and almost immediately after being chosen, he began to collapse from the pressure. So I thought that was it, but you guys can definitely it is. You guys can definitely read this article from the New York Times. Again, is entitled "The Heartbreak of Kanye West." Yeah, he definitely fell off when he first came out. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna say a fan, but I definitely enjoyed his
I'm
music.
gonna be honest. When he first came out, I rooted for Kanye.
I mean, I wasn't a fan, but I mean,
Through his third album, I rooted for Kanye.
I liked his music. I did, but I wasn't a fan, but I didn't like it when he first came. Like I wasn't a fan, but I liked his music. I want to make sure I'm saying it right. But then somewhere,
That's a choice.
Of
you
course,
like them. That's a
all
choice.
these choices, but I did like them.
No.
I
You know why I throwing the choice word out?
Yes, because everything we just been on this thing like
the
it's
choice
a
word.
choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice. Since he say it was a choice
It's
to be a
choice.
slave.
It's a choice to listen
Boy,
to
bye,
music.
sit down. But
I still want to expound on what you said though.
But yeah, like it's he's definitely gone downhill. The fashion is horrible. Like I don't know if any of
His
you
mental
guys
state, the way he dressed,
purchases clothes,
his dress is trash,
sneakers or whatever. Like his just whole look, and you know he's not
he ain't there.
again right. He's so past this in that sunken place. He's with them damn gypsies, them Kardashians.
Them satanic gypsies.
Gypsies, yes, because he's
gotta put the
hypnotized.
They Satanists. That's what they are.
They are so it's just
they're evil, man. Every time a man get with them, it's a curse. That's a Kardashian
curse. Have you guys
curse.
who follow ever noticed that any man that's ever gotten with the Kardashians has really gone down? Like went from a 1 to 100 like very quickly,
but decreasing
mm-hmm.
from 100 to 0,
right?
100 to 0, like
yes,
it's ridiculous, man. And I mean, yes, and like you saying, the Kardashians, that's so true. And the fact that people don't see that Kanye is a clone, that is not Kanye. And the fact y'all didn't peep what will.i.am and Snoop Dogg said, and a couple of other celebrities that they told you the truth already, and they told you that's not him. Did y'all not read between the lines when they said that?
Well, you know, a lot of people just don't believe in the whole elite, the Illuminati.
They think that's the same Kanye. No, it's not the same Kanye.
Cloning or anything like that.
Of course they don't. They feel like it's far-fetched.
Far-fetched, very entertaining. Right. But y'all be quick to want to believe that everything on these reality shows
is real.
Is real.
And it's not real. It's all staged.
I mean, there are some things that are real and or scripted, but
that's to amplify the show to get ratings.
A lot of them are in sunken places as well.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of them are I mean it is entertainment, but a lot of them are mentally messed up.
A lot of them, everybody in that world is actually in the sunken place. All the black people in that entertainment world is in the sunken place. Believe me, Kanye's not the only one.
Reality shows.
It's just Kanye is deeper.
Okay? Do they still have that reality show about Section 8 chicks?
Oh no, I don't keep up with all that.
I know
mess.
Once upon a time they had said that, and I'll be the first to say, yeah, I was. And when they first came out, I looked at a lot of those reality shows, but
the early reality shows. I don't look at Love and Hip Hop and
the earlier reality shows when they first came out of every city, California, New York, Atlanta. I mean, I did it. But for me and my setup, okay, I can only speak for me. In my setup, it was bringing me down. It was just too much to consume. It just became overwhelming for me. And not knocking anybody. If it's your twist, it's your twist.
It's repetitive.
It was my twist in the beginning. It became untwisted, and I needed to do something else. And not to say that I like to get consumed with the things that other things, but I think that these discussions and topics are just as important as reality shows. Mm-hmm. I mean, I got caught up with the whole tiara thing with these little girls, but then, you know, I couldn't watch that anymore because once upon a time I used to be in pageants and as well on a lower scale. And even with that, like, it just really became, I couldn't stand it. I told my mother after years, like after I was full grown, I had to tell her, like, you remember those pageants that you had me in and modeling and all? I just couldn't take it. Like, I couldn't stand it. I didn't like that attention and all of that. And you know, on a higher level, like these mothers spend so much money on these little girls. I feel like they live through their daughters.
They do. as a lot of parents do.
Whether they slimmer women or big women, because a lot of times they be like, oh, the big girls, they just know it be a lot of them black and white women,
right,
who be in there spending all that money, all that makeup on them little girls, and a lot of times these little girls just want to be little girls.
They do, but they just wrapped up into what
They
the
just
parents
so
want.
wrapped
And
up
that ties
into
into the
it.
entertainment world too. Why I say that? Because how about all the young entertainers that start off at a young age into entertainment? Their parents sell them into the industry, and they're already broken in before they even become an adult. Right. So they already mentally and physically messed up.
Like Will Smith, him with that, I guess, initiation of kissing his son.
Oh, Jaden Smith.
Jada Smith, his son, Jaden.
He broke
Smith.
Actually. Yeah, Will and Jada broke Jada and Willow in. The sacrifice was to reverse the gender, the cross dressing, they switched gender roles. That was the agenda that Will and Jada had. They had to do that to their kids. So Jaden is the feminine energy, and Willow is the male energy. That was the sacrifice. They had to break the kids down spiritually and sexually. As opposed to killing them. But there's other ways to sacrifice people, not always killing people.
Right. And everything, guys, can't stress it enough. Everything is not a hoax or fake or not true. Yes, there are things that are. I'm in agreement with that, but there's a lot of things that's just not. So, I mean, we can't force y'all to look at our show. We can't force y'all to go do research and all that. It is a choice.
It's a choice.
It's a choice.
Well, we're here to make you think.
We're
here to make you think. For real.
Right. We're here to make you
put some thought into what we're saying.
Exactly. I don't give a damn if you listen to the replay or not. Thank you in advance for listening to the replay.
Right, and hopefully it resonates with you.
Yeah, and share it and make it go viral. I don't care if you don't like it, pass it to somebody else.
Right,
doesn't even matter.
Absolutely. I mean, I wanted to add to what you were saying before you got into that first article about Kanye, the heartbreak of Kanye. Now, okay, you were speaking on Kanye West, him saying slavery is a choice, and you were saying who choose to be slaves, like our ancestors. They didn't choose to be slaves. They had to survive the best way they could. It was about self-preservation. So whatever moves they had to make to survive, like to stay alive, that's just what they had to do, even if they didn't want to do it at all. I'm sure it was embarrassing and hurtful and painful. Now, I feel like they had to be strategic and smart about what they do back then, what they did back then. What the fuck good would have done for them to just say all across the diaspora, what if all the slaves just rebelled? And mind you, you had all these white supremacist KKK members all across the world, not just in the United States. They had the upper hand. They physically had the guns. There was spiritually prepared, mentally prepared, physically prepared, etc., etc. All around, they were just prepared. And what good would have done if all the slaves just rebelled, and then they get captured, and then the worst thing happened to the ancestors, which they either get killed or lynched or chopped up. Something drastic happens. Then what? That defeats the whole purpose. Now, like Jay said, there was those who rebelled and took that chance, their choice to take that chance to gain freedom, and a lot of times that didn't work out in their favor. So with that repeated cycle of rebelling, maybe in the ancestors' mind that just wasn't working. So they had to find, you know, smarter ways to break out of that form of slavery. Not that they wanted to, but they had to.
Mm-hmm.
So that's not a choice. No one chooses to get raped or tortured or murdered or anything of that sort. So yeah, Jade, I'm with you on what you said. I agree with a lot of things that Jade said. So no, I don't think slavery is a choice. If it was that easy, all of them would have rebelled and then they would have overthrown white supremacy. So, but it wasn't that. The point I'm trying to make is it wasn't that simple. So you can't say slavery is a choice. You can't say that. I'm sorry. Now mental slavery, yes, that's a whole nother subject. Now, something that you said about Kanye. Now, with his support of Trump, well, just being in that world period, like you were saying, him promoting his projects and doing this for attention, it's being a publicity stunt. And you was bringing up he's in that world. Yes, he's in that world. Now, he's been in a second place since he got with Kardashian. He's trying to fit into a world where he's really not invited. He's in his own bubble that he just lost touch with reality, especially the struggles of Black communities. Even him being a rich Black man, I'm sure a lot of things resonate as Black people. We know there's common struggles we go through, but at the same time, he's so recluse from what's going outside on the front line that he doesn't have a grasp of how drastic the situation is. Like, for the past 10 years, he don't really know what's been going on. There's people that have been on the front line trying to do stuff about the issues that's going on in our communities. It's not a huge population of Black people doing it, but there's Black people out here trying to make a difference, But I just think with him, it's like, if Kanye, I just think with him, like with Jada, like Jay was saying, she takes it with a grain of salt. I take it with a grain of salt because I can't take him serious if you've been on this bubble this whole time and all of a sudden you come out of nowhere and speaking your free thought, as you say, it's free thinking, to the public, which is reaching the masses about slavery and what Obama did, which I agree with him on that part, but that's a whole other story. But Obama and Trump, your support of Trump. Well, first he comes out of nowhere after he did that rant on stage about Beyonce, Jay-Z, DJ Khaled, Mark Zuckerberg, who owns Facebook. Then he goes seeks treatment. Then he comes out of nowhere acting weird and looking weird and whatever.
That's that clone.
That clone, right?
That's that clone, people.
Right. Then he gets in front of Trump, right? At that inside that building.
So was that a choice for him?
Yeah, was that a choice?
Was that a choice for him? You talk about choices,
right? Which you can't say it was a choice, because if it was a choice, don't you think you would have overthrown all that? And then see, that's my thing with some of these celebrities. They say everything's a choice, right? Then how come you let the elite control you? How come you let Lucifer control your life if it's a choice? You see, it's not that simple, right? It's not that simple to get out, right? So that means slavery is a choice for you. That's your choice. So slavery is a choice. Slavery is not a choice, excuse me. Slavery is not a choice. That is not a choice. But they say slavery is a choice. Kanye West says slavery is a choice. But it's not a choice. Obviously, if you're talking about people being mind controlled in the world and we don't have thoughts of our own or can move in the world without being held down, and we are not thinking for ourselves as a human race. So if that's the case, how come you haven't overpowered? How come you haven't overthrown Lucifer? How come you haven't overthrown the elite? How come you haven't overthrown the big dogs who run the entertainment industry? So obviously it's not that simple. So slavery is not a choice. So with all of Kanye, what he's done, so he comes out of nowhere, then you see he's taking pictures with Trump. That was a red flag there. And then all of a sudden he he disappears for a while. All of a sudden he comes back in the limelight. Then he started spewing all these various tweets on Twitter. He's all over Twitter now. And then he comes with his TMZ speech, talking about slavery is a choice and all this other stuff he was talking about.
My brother did not even want him near him.
He
want to try to embrace the guy. Mm-hmm. I was like, ugh.
He wasn't even trying to hear that.
He wasn't trying to hear that, feel that, none of that. I wouldn't want him to touch me either with that negative energy and spirits he got going on.
No. And why would you want to align yourself with a person who openly told you how he feel about black people? Why would you want to align yourself with someone who blatantly wants to destroy black people? So you control opposition. So that means that's not benefiting us. Of you aligning yourself with someone who has agendas to annihilate a race in whatever capacity that is. So all this stuff is going on. So yeah, so to me, this look like, you look selfish as far as I'm concerned. Of course people was disappointed and shocked and hurt by just everything. I mean, at this point in my life, I'm not shocked. I mean, now maybe early on, when I had lesser understanding, yes, I would be, I'll be fucked up off all this stuff and shocked, Yeah, I mean, that was, to the mass, that is hurtful to say that, But I mean, just with Kanye, of course, a lot of people was upset about that. I mean, I know there was a lot of people who supported Kanye, like a lot of black people did. All you capers out there who supported Kanye, what he said. So, if y'all feel that way, how come you still in your damn position then? How come you still in your situation then? If slavery is a choice, if it's that easy to just get out, how come you still where you at? So that's just how I feel about it. I just wanted to say that before I forget, because I know my mind be racing and I have so many thoughts in my head. I just wanted to get that out. And and let you go on with the article if you have something.
Yeah, I just have this one, because whatever else I have on Kanye, I'm going to just post it for everyone to read. So a supporter of Kanye West is Roseanne Barr. Do you guys remember her?
Mind you, she supports Trump too now.
So she supports Trump.
Keep in mind.
So Roseanne Barr defends Kanye West. People do not want to hear the truth. This was posted 4 days ago from foxnews.com. Roseanne, she sticks up for Kanye West. The outspoken actress took to social media on Thursday to voice her support for one of the points Kanye West has recently made on Twitter about Chicago, the city he is from. Okay. Barr said West is telling the truth about Chicago Mayor Emanuel City. People do not want to hear the truth that Chicago could be a better city for its citizens, but the establishment is corrupted, Barr wrote.
Okay, I agree with that.
At Kanye West is telling the truth about Mayor Emanuel's Chicago. People do not want to hear the truth that Chicago could be a better city for its citizens, but the establishment is corrupted. What I just read. The city of Chicago has become known for violence and has earned a reputation as one of America's most violent cities. President Trump once called the city a war zone, with people being shot left and right. Last week, West famously tweeted, Obama was in office for 8 years and nothing in Chicago changed. Okay, but I just want to make sure that okay, yep. And so it says Emmanuel, who Barr referenced in her tweet, served as Obama's chief of staff before his tenure as mayor of Chicago. West also tweeted about building houses in Chicago with fellow Windy City native Chance the Rapper, who jumped into the conversation tweeting, "Black people don't have to be Democrats." Chance later clarified that his tweet was in support of West, not Trump, as the exchange followed a series of pro-Trump tweets from West. West has ignited a firestorm of reaction with recent comments about slavery, Trump, former President Obama, and even Harriet Tubman. The controversial comments have created a buzz on Twitter, with fans arguing over his recent state of mind. While the rock Roseanne Starr has expressed support for West, other celebrities such as singer John Legend has condemned his rhetoric. West's wife Kim Kardashian has been slamming suggestions that he is mentally ill. He's a free thinker. Is that not allowed in America? Because some of his ideas different from yours, you have to throw in the mental health card. That's just not fair, Kardashian tweeted on April 25th. He's actually out of the sunken place where he's being himself, which is very expressive. Much like West, Barr has taken heat for publicly supporting Trump. On Monday night, Barr sat down with Jimmy Fallon on The Tonight Show, and the host asked about his political views, which have caused some controversy. "Oh yeah, people are mad about that, but I don't give a Barr told Fallon.
That's Roseanne for you.
I mean, everybody has to choose for themselves according to their own conscience, who they felt was the lesser of two evils," she said of the 2016 election. So that's just that little bit. So I have to say too, I don't care what nobody say, because it's my thought. Like I said, we all choice.
It's a choice.
Okay. So yeah, and I'm just kind of skipping through this thing as I'm talking. I see it. It's weird.
Trying to stop your free thinking.
I'm a free thinker. I believe I always have been. And as I've gotten older, it comes out. And I'm okay with that because we don't all have to agree.
Yeah, we mocking Kanye. Show damn Liz. Show damn
I'm
Liz.
I'm going to say this about now, this small piece about the former president,
favorite ass president,
Obama. He did nothing for Chicago.
You sure didn't.
Nothing. Okay, and what's that other city? It might be the same city. They don't have no water. Still don't have no water. Flint. Michigan.
What has he done?
I mean, okay, don't get me wrong. I'm part of the LGBT community. I'm part of the Black and Brown community. I have a tribe. I'm part of the tribe community, right? Okay, so he did some things for the LGBT community. Kudos. Okay.
And he had Obamacare. Y'all keep throwing that out there.
Because y'all keep throwing that out there. But guess what? I've spoken with
and he helped the cannabis industry.
He helped the cannabis industry. So let me not take that away. Okay, kudos for him for that. But we are in a way bigger picture. He still had so much that he could have done. I know that he can't clean up from his past brothers that were president, okay?
Because Obama is related.
He is related in that bloodline, if y'all did not know.
Y'all need to know that.
I'm just saying.
He is.
I'm just saying.
This is facts. You can go research it now.
Please research it, people. And just don't be like, nah, I don't know. Please research.
Just research.
It's a wonderful thing to expand your mind to research. And even when you research, if you choose not to agree, that's okay. But at least you researched it.
It might be uncomfortable, but the truth shall set you free.
So with that being said, appreciate what Obama did with some things, but there's still bigger pictures like this. Chicago haven't done much.
It's a lot of violence over there.
Lots. It is really one of the biggest cities that is
Black people destroying each other.
destroying
And for
each
what?
other.
And for what?
War zone. Yes, I agree with that. It is a war zone. Flint, Michigan. How long ago has that been? And they still without no
Man.
water? Seriously, people?
Unclean water.
Oh yeah, and that whole, I'm skipping around, but forgive me. That Obamacare is not what the hype is. It may work for some. Okay, I'm trying to keep this as an open mind, but there's a lot of people who complain about that Obamacare.
He charged a high premium, did he?
I believe, yeah. There's quite a few people that if they have like large families, it's like
Ridiculously
high.
And it shouldn't be that way.
And it shouldn't be.
You think it's affordable.
If it's supposed, Obamacare, the Obamacare insurance is supposed to be affordable. Okay, so yeah, I do hear him, West K, on that. Okay, and it's all good for the cannabis, weed. Okay,
that's not
okay,
but that's not helping the black community.
Right. And
that's not helping us.
For the LGBT too, but like,
we black first though.
Right.
So what has he done for black people though?
And
that's my thing.
And also with that, I'm also going to say we as a black and brown community, we got to do better too.
Yeah.
We have to do
our
better.
part.
We have to do our part. We cannot rely on these presidents or 45 now.
They're going to do so
We
much.
have to be proactive. We have to do things.
We
can't keep, we shall overcome. I'm sorry.
Overcome what?
We have to.
What are we overcoming?
We got to do more than we should overcome.
You better overcome that drug infested community.
People hear you when you're proactive.
Right.
People hear you when you have money. Y'all, we gather together, we put our monies together, and we present what we need to do. That money is power.
You gotta have a plan.
And right, and you have to have a plan. And when you have that plan and you go to people listen to you.
They respect that.
And they respect that. They respect the fact that you're doing something.
They might not like you.
Right. But you got that money, so they listening.
They listen.
Right?
Power of the dollar. Power of the dollar.
Power of that dollar, boy.
Tell you.
But when you
vote ain't gonna just help it either.
When you keep marching and rallying constantly, and you're like, when y'all
yelling on top of
yelling and
top of your lungs,
and at the end of the day, what did you do? Get a headache? Y'all still going back?
Or you might get arrested.
Right, or might get arrested
for disorderly conduct or disturbing the peace.
Yes,
all that's trumped up charges.
I just feel like when you're not being proactive, nothing's going to happen.
It's not,
and it's going to take more than one. It's going to take a collective.
That's true.
A consistency, and that power of that dollar when you present that plan to them, because you can't slack, you can't half-ass it when you go to these people. You gotta come with the knowledge. You gotta know what you're saying. You gotta believe what you're saying. Y'all come together with that plan. Bam, something's gonna happen.
And what assimilation they try, you gotta be able to counteract it. You gotta be strong.
Exactly. Have to, like,
you right though, Jay. You're right.
You just
but for Chicago, I mean, got to do better because it is corrupt there. Just like with the Kanika Jenkins case. That case ain't solved yet. Why? Because Roseanne Barr just told you. And I mean everybody knows that Chicago police are corrupt. Mm-hmm. That's why it's never gonna get solved. It's a cover-up. Just like all the guns that infest the Chicago streets, that's a cover-up. There's accounts of the government placing guns in Chicago neighborhoods, just putting a box of guns there. That's how they getting the guns. That's how the young brothers are getting the guns. The government places it there. The young brothers see it, and they grab it. Of course, they're gonna now from the images they see on TV, and even just with people they grew up when they see them with guns and they see the same images on TV, and that's what they want to be, that's what they want to do. So they see guns on the streets. Of course, they're gonna emulate that. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not smart. I feel like the brothers don't need to pick up them guns either. But see, they're not educated enough to know that. But at some point, Black people, we gotta take responsibility for our own communities. We can't expect the Chicago police to do it for us. We gotta do it for ourselves. We gotta police our own communities.
Because believe me, if you're in other communities, they stick together.
Mm-hmm.
They have a plan. They come together to get that plan and take that plan and execute it and take it to where they need to go, and things happen.
Yeah. And if they got bad apples in the neighborhood, they're gonna eliminate it. No questions asked. Just eliminate it. It's not long drawn out, making excuses and my past is this and my past is no. If you bringing the community down, you out of here. And that's just that. And that's how you solve that. So, unfortunately, there's going to have to be some Black people that need to go if they're not bringing anything beneficial to the community. You can't save everybody. That's just the reality. It's hurtful. It's unfortunate, but if that's what has to be done, it's just going to have to be done.
It's uncomfortable to hear. Yes, we know this, but
if you love your people, you're gonna have to sacrifice something for a better race. Yes, you do.
You say that, and I say,
I know you so humanitarian. You can't help it.
I can't help it. It's just in my genes. But Uno has her way of thinking about it.
I'm a radical. I have a radical mind.
I have a radical mind. I do.
I'm just straight up radical.
I do have a radical mind, but I'm also humanitarian by nature as well. It's not nothing that I asked to happen. It's just in my DNA. So I'm a combination chick. But we just and I respect her view. I really do.
And I respect Jay's. Absolutely.
And so yours. For those that are wanting to make a real change instead of just talking about it, but put it into that action and do what we need to do. I mean, I'm definitely all for it. So I guess that's all I have to say with that.
Absolutely.
It was already. Whew.
Now I'm gonna just say these two things, then we're gonna go on to the next subject. So
that's funny.
Yeah, we went into a whole hour with Kanye ass. Well, and we'll talk about other various things.
Yeah, that's funny.
Now Kanye. Now I just want to. Now after all this, the backlash, his tweets and everything, Donald Trump has shouted out Kanye West. Okay, during his speech. Okay, at the NRA convention, when Donald Trump spoke at the NRA convention, he shouted Kanye out, which actually helped his polls with Black people. Okay. And this happened in Dallas. And that's why he was there, for this presidency thing, and just thinks he's going to be executed while he's president now. The polls have doubled from the support of Black people. So, yes, Trump is happy with that. 22% approve of the president's job that he's doing while he's in the seat. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, he pretty much definitely liked Kanye's approach. And he really thinks that Kanye gets it. He said Kanye gets it. And the last thing I want to read, I don't know if y'all heard about this. There's a petition out right now that demands Adidas to cut ties with Kanye West after his slavery is a choice comments and any other comment he has made about the challenges and struggles of Black people through centuries. So this petition has so far reached 4,500 signatures and is still growing. I want to see if they have anything else. There's other stuff to read, but we read all that stuff already. So Care 2, this is called Care 2. Their organization wanting Adidas to drop him, the partnership with Kanye West. and to tell the world that they don't want anything to do with him, that, you know, because Kanye believes millions of black people chose to be slaves. Okay, so what else have he said? The petition did raise other questions as far as the effort of Kanye's recent political statements. That's pretty much it. So there's a petition out there. So it's actually reaching fast. So I don't know. It ain't looking good for Kanye. You better hope he keep this Adidas partnership.
Exactly.
Because if he don't, he's gonna lose a lot of money.
What Kim gonna do then?
Actually, there's a story right now that it's gonna be a possibility that she might divorce him after all this.
As she ran her yip. Does she know what time it is?
Right. So I don't know. Hey.
You know, them Kardashians is always drama.
But we just
talk about sisters.
Oh,
them
yeah.
Kardashians, boy, got a lot of drama from the mother to her children.
It's a shame.
To her
confused.
Her husband is now what's her husband's name? And I'm not throwing shade.
I don't know.
What's her husband's name?
Okay.
Well, now
I don't know what it is.
she is a woman. So I'm going out of respect.
No disrespect to the. I'm in the LGBTQ, but I don't know
what. For me,
I don't know what the hell the gender is. I don't know if it's a he or she or now. I don't know. He, she. I don't know what it is now.
She is a woman.
She is a woman.
So out of respect, I'm just going to say that, and I'm going to move forward. So our next discussion.
Ooh, they're a lot.
Next discussion. This is coming from Fox5Atlanta.com. I don't know if you guys heard about on social media.
I've seen it circulating a lot. I've seen that circulate a lot.
If you guys paid any attention to the little boy who was abused at the daycare. So it says baby hospitalized after beating at daycare. And there's a video if you choose to, again, read it and see it. So this was posted May 2nd. And it happened in Indianapolis. Okay. It says police are trying to figure out who abused a 1-year-old boy at a Indianapolis daycare. The baby's mother is outraged after finding her son beaten and abused after a day at Kitty Gardens daycare. Tiffany Griffin's son, 1-year-old Jesse, had to be hospitalized so doctors could figure out just how badly he was hurt. When Griffin went to pick Jesse up at Kitty Gardens daycare Monday afternoon, her son was barely recognizable. Someone apparently attacked him. And if you see this little baby's face, oh my God.
It is so...
I probably would be in jail right now. Yeah,
and if a kid did it, that kid might go on the ground. I'm sorry.
I hear my son screaming from outside. Me and his dad, we hear him screaming. As we go in there, he's in a high chair and both of his eyes busted, his lips swollen top and bottom, scratches all through his face, cuts, blood everywhere, Griffin remembers. Griffin admits she lost her composure when she saw her son. She says she punched a 22-year-old daycare worker out of her. A police report lists the worker as the suspect, but the employee told Griffin that it was another child who assaulted Jesse. No way a baby, a 2-year-old, and that baby was small, and she didn't look like she was the violent type. And her mom said she wasn't the violent type. And her mom said scratches her baby might do. But when she seen that picture, she started crying and said her baby wouldn't do anything like that, Griffin said. Griffin says the worker's response makes her doubt her story. She didn't even call the owner. She didn't call the police. She didn't call the ambulance. She didn't call nobody, Griffin said. As doctors try to figure out if baby Jesse will have any lasting injuries, Griffin is left questioning if she can ever leave her children in someone else's care again. I couldn't protect him, and I was trying to do what's best for my kids, like going to the doctor, taking care of my health, going to school. I've been going to school for 2 years. I just got him into daycare, and just when I caught myself getting stuff on track, Griffin said. Kitty Garden employees were contacted for the story but had no comment. The state has since shut down the daycare center. So, I mean, again, this little baby, I know little kids can scratch and do little things, but this
That takes a lot of force.
This is an act of an adult doing this.
Yeah.
There's just no way. I don't believe
that 2-year-old.
Yeah,
I don't believe
that 2-year-old did that. I mean, to look at this little boy and see how swollen his face, like somebody looked like an adult punched him. There's
the way his face is takes a lot of force.
Takes a lot
to develop these kind of bruises on the face.
Exactly. So you know what? She lucky she didn't go to jail, because I would have beat that bitch up. Yep, I said it. I would have been in jail. There ain't no way. You just go ahead. I'll go willingly, because honey, you go take care of the children, because mom's is about to
get down.
Because
beat some ass up in there.
I'm trying to tell you, she would have got it, and I wouldn't have said I felt sorry for it. There's just no way you're gonna blame a little child, a little 2-year-old, that to do the damage that little boy's face looks like. So I'm glad they shut down. I mean, nobody in that daycare is not saying nothing. Nobody called no ambulance. Nobody did nothing. So that child is sitting there like you didn't call a parent, like nothing happened. That child is in pain. He's what I say, 1 year old?
He's 1 year old.
1 year old. He's sitting there in that pain with a swollen face. I can't even imagine. I know when my kids was young, and I've shared a little bit of that story, my kids got abused by individuals who I thought that I could trust while I go to work to make sure that I could have a better life for my kids when they was 2 and 6 years old, and unfortunately they got abused sexually and physically and mentally. And I'm not going to go into that story, because if you heard it in the past, you know what I was about. I rode for my kids, whether my kids chose to remember it or not. I do, because as any self-respecting parent, you're going to do what you see. People can talk a lot. Hey, Judith girl. Hey girl. Any self-respecting parent, okay, whether you had them or not, you're going to do what's best for that child that you're taking care of, or the children that you're taking care of, okay? And so while you're working and you're doing what you have to do, okay, no judgment here, because I've done things all in the name of making sure that even if I didn't eat and have the best clothes or the best shoes or sneakers on my feet, I made sure that my children were fed, that they had at least decent clothes and decent shoes or sneakers on their feet. So we get out here every day and grind and hustle. And when you decide that you want to put your children in the hands of somebody else to take care of them, and then you come back and your children look like that, and they're young. So when they're young like that, they can't express themselves a whole lot like that. You understand?
Well,
so
wait till that little boy get older.
Wait till he get older. Honey, get him.
Or conscious enough to a certain age when he can articulate what happened in that daycare.
Yes. It's
But I get what you're saying.
I mean, my
you
heart
take it to a daycare.
right.
You put the trust.
You put the trust in these people and their staff, from the owner to his or her staff, to take care of your child while you're out working, going to school, and things of that nature. And you have to come back and your child look like that. Hell yeah, she should have beat her ass down. Yep. And anybody else who should have got it. So I'm right there with her. And it's hard, because now the mom is probably like, she might not want to work no more.
Yeah.
She might not want to go to school. She might really have to really prioritize, like she might have to change her whole life around.
That's
because
true.
I'm sure that she is terrified to have her son or her children in anybody else's care.
Yeah.
And
Well,
you
I don't
can't blame her.
I don't blame her.
And
it's just a fortunate event, man.
You stupid people who have different comments that you have as far as whatever you're saying, you're not in that woman's shoes. And I get tired of people talking about what they would have done, but you don't know what you would have done unless you would have been in that situation, or unless you already have been in a situation like that.
Same thing with the Kanye situation. How you know what the hell you would have did back in slavery times? You don't know if you would have been a slave or not. You don't know how your mental state would have been.
Oh my God!
Since you're talking about that, I had to insert that in too. Since y'all say slavery is a damn choice,
that just touches me.
People make comments, but they don't know what they would have done if they was in that similar situation. Just in general, you're talking about the mother dealing with that incident with her baby in the daycare, and Kanye West saying slavery is a choice, and these caping ass motherfuckers agreeing with that bullshit. Oh my God, it's just hard. But no one knows until you're in the situation.
Right? You don't know.
Let's see if you say the same thing once you experience it.
Right. That just over it. So my heart go out to her children, just her family in general. I hope that she gets the just that she deserves. I'm glad that they shut down the daycare, and they need to start doing more inspections in these daycares anyway. They don't do a lot of inspections. They claim that they do these background checks. A lot of times they don't do these background checks. They don't do no background on people. Checks. And even if they if their background just comes back good, you still got to watch people.
That's true.
You still got to watch people. And you know what? I blame the whole daycare just on the fact, like I said before, nobody reported this. Nobody made no phone calls. Nobody did nothing. They
made no reports to the police,
nothing. They just let that boy sit in pain in a chair, high chair or whatever.
That's how you know they're guilty, because nobody want to say nothing.
Nobody don't want to say nothing.
But you want to put the blame on a 2-year-old child? Seriously, y'all? Get the fuck out of here.
It's just okay.
Someone need to beat their ass.
Right.
Bust their whole fucking face up.
Someone need to do, and I know the spiritual side of me. However, forgive me, universe. Someone needs for that to happen. The way that they did that little boy, they need to get beat down like that.
Just like that. And they're going to find out how that feels. It don't feel too good, do it?
Don't feel good at all.
So why do it to somebody else, or even to a fucking child? Is you serious?
Unbelievable.
Some parents will straight kill your ass on sight.
Right. Don't care.
Fuck a beating. They'll kill your ass on sight.
Exactly.
Everybody don't have the same temperament.
The temperament, right.
You got to be careful, man. You got all these crazy folks out here who want to get crazy. Now, there's people crazier than you. So, people got to be wise what they be doing out here.
Right. Quick thing that we'll probably follow up in another story another time. When you say that with the same temperament, if you guys had followed the recent killing of that black woman who
her ex-man,
he was seeing another woman, yet he was still seeing the ex-girlfriend. She was in her feelings, all on social media, right? Running her mouth, and he wound up killing her.
Mind you, he has anger issues.
He has anger
severe
issues that she knew about.
Yep.
And he wound up at the end of the day, he killed her. He said, "Oh, so you want to become a star? You want to become famous?
I'm gonna make you famous. Bitch, I'm gonna make you famous."
And he shot her right on a Facebook Live.
Yep. I know y'all heard about it.
So you got to be careful.
You got to be careful.
Got to be careful.
See, that's what I'm saying. You got to be wise. You got to be. Now, I'm not saying
I'm not saying it was right.
No, it's not right, because he's dead ass fucking wrong, and he has history of domestic violence too. So he's no better than her. I'm not siding with nobody, but
my side is with the kids, because now the kids have no mother. She's
and
gone,
no father.
And no father. He'll be in jail
the rest of his damn life over some stupid shit that he could have actually avoided if he controlled his fucking anger issues. But I do get it from his side too, far as how she was playing with him. Knowing he had some issues. But at the same time, he should have just, stopped dealing with her in the first place and just, deal with the new lady. But he was dealing with the new lady, but the ex got in her feelings like some black women do. I'm going to have to keep fucking 100 because some black women do this shit. Yes, you do. I'm not saying all black women, but some do. They have a tendency when they break up with a black man, They hold on to that shit. And they use it against them. Whether, I'm gonna fix this nigga. I'm gonna put his ass on child support. I want my motherfucking money. I'm gonna get all this money out this nigga. And I'm gonna make his life living here. I'm just so fuck with him. Do all kind of stupid shit. You see, like I'm a reference what Thomas Sotomayor said. Play a stupid game and you win a stupid prize. And that's what happened to her. You can't play with everybody like that. And that's a message to some of these black women. If you don't want you, move on. It is what it is. You can't force someone to be with you. But attacking and getting and revenge and picking at the man and ruining his life is not gonna help you.
Not at all. And
calling the cops ain't gonna help either. Because guess what? That's what happened in that Facebook Live when her ass called the cops. He didn't give a fuck about none of that. He was off the deep end.
And she was trying to apologize and all that on Facebook, but he was not trying to hear
that.
None of it.
And he shot at the cops.
He
didn't give a fuck.
So with that, he's already going down shooting at the cop because he shot the cop in his wrist.
Yeah, and something like that.
And then he shot her.
Yeah, because cops was already coming in. So he said, well, I'm shooting this bitch and get it over with.
So yeah, it's
I'm not saying it's right what he did.
It's messed up all the way, and I really feel for the kids not having a mother or father now.
Right. I only feel sorry for the children. I don't know, because then I heard two sides. They say that the child was shot, and then the child was not shot, and because the child wasn't there. I don't know,
but more to come with that.
Right.
Well, more to come with that on the show.
Well, both of them should have worked on some stuff. All that could have been avoided.
Again, choices. If she knew that he was with somebody else, she should have left him alone right where he was at, and you worry about you and your children.
Right.
Still worry about him.
Yes, Judith. Choose wisely your choice of words. Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely.
That's why y'all need to stop putting everything on Facebook. Everything ain't meant for Facebook. That's how you get in trouble. And believe me, I learned that myself.
I'm guilty of it.
I'm guilty of that.
I'm guilty of it.
And it's got me in trouble.
I'm guilty of it once upon a time.
Right. Right. It's gotten us in trouble. So we just need to be more wise of how we utilize Facebook. And some of these niggas, boy, that's the worstest thing that Mark Zuckerberg could have done is create Facebook, because niggas just post all kind of stuff on Facebook now. I mean, shooting and smoking and posing with the guns and flashing,
chopping off their mothers, decapitating their mother's head. Which that's gonna be another story we're gonna talk about at another time, because I know this show's gonna be over at 9:00.
Yes, we did say that the brother chopped off his mother's head. On a live video.
And we're not gonna even talk about also. If you haven't heard on social media about that young man who was going to Morehouse, he was a Morehouse College student who they say that he hung himself on the bridge
with a
metal chain.
Now come on.
So that's another conversation for another podcast show.
Right. Well, actually, we're gonna tie it in because we talking about the two black men who were hung in Oklahoma.
If we can get to that tonight.
Right, but it should be short. I mean, it's not like we got. Yeah, we can probably
we still got the Miami to talk about.
Okay, well, I mean, I know we're not gonna cover it all the way in, like, but
But you go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to read this little part. This part right here. I just wanted to say now. This comes from BlackAmericaWeb.com. Police investigate vicious beating of 1-year-old at daycare. Aaron Harner, an Indianapolis police spokesman, confirmed that detectives are investigating the incident, but said no arrests have been made. The worker Griffin punched is now being investigated as a suspect, according to a police report seen by Fox 59. But Haben Gabriel Michael, the owner of the daycare, explained to Associated Press that another toddler, a girl, attacked little Jesse shortly after he was dropped off. However, Griffin ain't buying it. So it's no way a 2-year-old, and that baby was small and she didn't look like she was the violent type. And her mom said she wasn't the violent type. And her mom said scratches her baby might do, but when seeing that picture, she started crying and said her baby wouldn't do anything like that, Tiffany said. After the news broke, of the incident on Tuesday, Gabrielle Michael closed the daycare following harassing phone calls. She's unsure when it will happen. I just wanted to read that part. So police are investigating this whole situation. So I hope justice gets served for real, man. Cause that don't make no sense.
I really wish I could reach out to her and be like, girlfriend, I truly can understand.
Right.
I truly can understand.
I know she wanted to tell some shit, boy.
Oh, I know she. I know she probably thought long and hard, and probably a lot of thoughts went through her brain. Like, if I do this, I'm not gonna have my kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The system or whatever may have them. So there is no judgment. She reacted the way that she reacted, and again, like you said, we both said, I hope justice is done, and well wishes for her son Jesse. I hope he's speedy recovery.
Absolutely.
People make me sick. Ooh.
Humans, boy.
Ooh, boy.
Anyways, next topic.
Next topic we're on is this article is coming from MiamiHerald.com. Again, this is something that's a recent story on Facebook as well about the Miami cop on the video kicking a handcuffed man on the ground. In his head, he's relieved of duty. So I believe he's done. I'm not sure if he's all the way no longer a police officer.
He just suspended at the moment.
He's just suspended. Okay. So this was posted May 3rd, but it was updated May 4th. So update. Miami Commissioner Keon Hardeman publicly stated he doesn't believe the officer will be charged in a series of tweets challenging the state attorney to follow through. If you'd like to read more, you can. It's a link to click on it. And also, when we post this, there is a video of it showing the man is handcuffed and there's a police officer coming up, kicking him straight in his head while he's handcuffed. So in Miami, not saying, once I read this, that the reasoning why they arrested him, this man. Miami police officer was relieved of duty Thursday when a video surfaced of him delivering a running kick to the head of a suspected car thief who was lying defenseless on his stomach in handcuffs. As the video got wide airplay in South Florida media, Miami Police Chief George Colina declared that it depicts a clear violation of policy and immediately suspended the officer, identified as Mario Ferrario. Miami-Dade State Attorney Catherine Fernandez Rundle also ordered an investigation that could lead to possible prosecution of the officer. I'm very happy the chief took swift, immediate action, said Miami Mayor Francis Suarez. Figueroa, who has been on the force for 2 years, was suspended. So he was still early in the game, kind of like a rookie, I say, with the being a police officer. 2 years, who has been on the force 2 years, was suspended with pay. With pay.
Ain't that something?
Pending, which is not surprising because it happens more than not.
Right.
Okay. So suspended with pay pending the outcome of the investigation. The suspect kicked by Figueroa was David Valadim Suso, 31, is facing a host of charges ranging from grand theft to fleeing an officer. So I'm not condoning his act, his doing. But him kicking him in the head while he's handcuffed, can't do nothing, was just crazy. The encounter was captured on cell phone video by Lisa Harrell, a former Florida International University student who lives at the Colmar Apartments on Northwest 8th Street and 7th Avenue in Overtown section of Miami. Now, why the hell did they give where she lived? Because you know them cops coming after her.
Oh, yeah.
They just put her business all out there.
That's crazy.
She says she was so outraged, she posted the video on her Facebook page and sent a copy to the city of Miami. Again, her business is just all out there.
All for the world to see.
All exposed, and boy, them cops. Anyway, the stay-at-home mom was inside her apartment just before 10 a.m. Thursday and went outside, she said, when her dog wouldn't stop barking. That's when she said she saw Suzo running back and forth through courtyards in the apartment complex until he was trapped and gave himself up, laying prone on the grass. He was laying on the grass. He ran around and then he was face to face with police, Harrell said. He put his hands on his head. The police said, lay down. He did. And then the police just came and kicked him. On Facebook, Harrell posted, he was down already. Didn't have to kick him. I will not let this go unnoticed. The 51-second video clearly shows a man laying on his stomach on the grass with his hands over his head. As one officer cautiously approaches from the right and bends down to handcuff the suspect, Figueroa races in from the right side of the frame and kicks violently at the prone man's head. He kicked so hard he almost fell over. And I saw it. Yeah, he almost did bust his ass. After Figueroa kicks, two other officers approach, and about 20 seconds later, the video ends. Harrell said she turned off her cell phone because she noticed officers looking at her. She said at no time was she told to put the camera down. Other than Colina announcing the suspension, Miami police refrained from discussing the confrontation. Fraternal Order of Police President Ed Luga also chose not to comment to the Miami Herald. Fernandez Rundle said she watched the video with indignation and instructed Assistant State Attorney Jonette Hartman of the Department's Public Corruption Unit to open an investigation. She said, I was shocked and appalled by what I saw, the state attorney says. It goes on. I'll read down because it's quite a little lengthy. So pretty much overall, they're going to investigate the city's police. And really, do you really think that he's going to get charged with anything?
He's not going to get charged with
I mean, he's suspended with pay. So
you said a keyword, fraternal order. What does that tell you? Mm-hmm. It's a brotherhood. They protect each other.
Right. And with them putting out where she lives, she needs to move.
Her life is at risk.
Yeah, her life is at risk. I shouldn't say she needs to move because I don't know her financial situation or whatever. But really, she's in danger to me. Like she's in danger.
Yeah.
They put her whole business out. Plus, she got a Facebook page. Come on.
Yeah.
They can find her. Right. They can just find her just like that.
Just like that.
I'm sure they're watching her now.
Yeah.
So
her every move.
Please be careful.
Please.
Please be careful. That's just crazy. Okay.
But speaking of investigation, I'm gonna read this article from NY Times. Just adding to what you're saying. Miami's mayor. Well, actually, it's a paragraph or something, but Jade already covered that, so I'm not going to read the same thing over. I just want to read this key part. Miami's mayor Francis Soraya said in an interview on Friday that the suspension was the maximum punishment the department could immediately hand out under city policy, and that he wishes it could have been a harsher punishment. I was disgusted by it, he said. I think it's evident that the officer acted irresponsibly and inappropriately. I was happy that our police chief acted immediately to suspend the officer. The state attorney for Miami-Dade County, Catherine Fernandez Rundle, said the public corruption unit of her office had immediately opened an investigation. I was shocked and appalled by what I saw, she said. It's not clear whether Mr. Figueroa, who has been with the department for 2 years, would have faced such repercussions if not for the video recorded by Lisa Harrell, a neighbor who wrote on Facebook that she would not let this go unnoticed. So, let's see. Let me see if there's anything else I would. Okay, well, here's a part that's interesting. A 2013 investigation by the Justice Department found that the Miami Police Department had engaged in a pattern of excessive force that resulted in a high number of shootings by officers, including the deaths of 7 young black men over 8 months in 2011. It cited egregious delays in the investigation of such shootings. The city agreed in 2016 to implement a series of reforms, including enhanced supervision of officers and de-escalation training that will be monitored by an independent reviewer. Mr. Suarez cited a decline in the homicides and police-involved shootings as signs of success. Now, I just wanted to read that. Interesting, but not surprising. Yeah, that's all I got on that. It's just sad, unfortunate. Black people, listen here. You know the police officers are told to target black people, right? I mean, I hope you know that. And with that being said, this is why all this violence with police are happening to black men. More so. I know it happens to black women too, but more so black men. Black men will and always will be a threat to white supremacy. They do realize that the black man possesses what they don't possess. Black men got to understand that they are higher beings. They're not normal. Their strength is three times the strength of Europeans. So with that being said, don't look for justice in the police system at all. You have the power to change your struggles and outcomes in your environment. You have the power to do that. They can't do it for you. You have to initiate that. So with that being said, you can't expect anything more. You can't expect anything less from any police department across the United States of America. It's not meant to give you justice. You know, you pay your tax money. Yes, I get all that. So they do serve you. They are public servers. However, you do know that this was founded in, during slavery times. The police system itself was designed to capture slaves. Do I need to say anything more? Do I? No. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for that justice, just remember, going back in history, never forget history. It always repeats itself. It hasn't changed. It's the same format, just a different level. That's it.
And finally, this, I'm not going to really read all into this article, but this is an article coming from WLRN.org, and it's, Miami. It states, Miami police apologizes to family of handcuffed man kicked in head, suspends officer, and his sister Maritza. After, it says, hours after a cell phone video captured the moment when a city of Miami police officer kicked her handcuffed brother in his head, his sister walks into a community meeting seeking answers. So there is I believe, an audio. It's like 3 minutes and 59 seconds. You can listen to it. She's not saying that if he did commit a crime, let's face that, whatever the penalties are for that. But he already was on the ground, handcuffed. And if it wouldn't have been for this lady risking her life, because she really did do it, risking her life. The sister Maritza would have never known what would happen. Like, she didn't even know the severity of his injuries, what's going on. I'm sure probably since then she probably had some idea. And even, the woman who videotaped it, she was still very concerned, and she said she wouldn't be able to rest or breathe until she could physically put his eyes on him to know that he's okay. So there's a lot going on everywhere.
Absolutely.
And we must be cautious and careful and be alert and aware.
Mm-hmm.
Because, again, earlier we said, when it was light outside, you never know what is going to happen to you. I mean, you just don't know
until you in that
situation. You don't know how you're going to react
or feel
right
at that. So,
absolutely. So that's an article with that.
All right. So we on to the next subject. Unless you had something else.
No, I didn't have anything else with that. Nope.
All right, so we moving on, and I guess I got one article for this one. So we're talking about the 3 black men that were lynched in the South. The specific places is Oklahoma and Atlanta. All right, so I'll get to the one in Atlanta because I'm from here, born and raised, my city, and this hit home for me. So with that being said, I would like to discuss this. It's not a lot on this story because it's still information is still trying to develop. So, all right. But Atlanta Black Star covered the story. It says man found hanging off a bridge in Atlanta, but is it a symbolic lynch or suicide? A man was The incident occurred near the Atlanta University Center, and police officials believe the victim committed suicide. Bullshit. The AJC reported. Carlos Campos, Atlanta police spokesman, stated Saturday that no foul play was indicated. Atlanta Police Sergeant John Chaffee said the preliminary examination showed that a chain was wrapped around the victim's neck and secured in different places. Chaffee stated that the keys were found in the male's pockets. Investigators told police officials that a person around the area heard someone yelling, "Don't do it." Chaffee relayed to the news source. The incident caused traffic delays in the area, and one driver by the Twitter username JFN Hollywood recorded the tragedy. But it also left people questioning whether it was really a suicide or a possible racist message representing a lynching. One Twitter user, Tariq Nasheed, and y'all can actually go check it out on his Instagram because he has a video. He was recently down here in Atlanta, and he actually walked through the area where it happened at and just give y'all some news about what went down. Wrote last week there was a Nazi rally in Georgia. Let's keep that in mind, okay? And today a black man was found hanging from the MLK Drive bridge. Look at the symbolism in Atlanta. Police there are ruling it a suicide. Exclamation point. These are not. Day slavery and lynching. The don't do, it was a false alarm to cover up. Yes, it was. I believe that. Some Twitter user, CRL blah blah, said forensically impossible for that to be a suicide, and I agree with that too. That's why it doesn't make sense if they rule it a suicide. The length of the rope would make it impossible to do. This is homicide, racially motivated homicide. Police officials believe the victim was a black male in his mid to late 20s. See the different instances in his death, it just don't add up. And then they just had a rally in Georgia. So you tell me, put 2 and 2 together here. And black folks, we know it ain't no damn suicide. With a fucking chain? Seriously? Most times, and this is mostly common, that people commit suicide with ropes. or they shoot themselves with a gun. But come on, a chain, for real? Okay, yeah, all right.
Steep.
Yeah, that's real deep.
It's really.
You got one from Oklahoma, the two black men that you
Yeah,
about to
because I
read?
really don't have anything else to say about that Atlanta one.
It
Besides,
sounds suspicious.
it definitely sounds real suspicious, and I just don't believe it. I believe it was homicide. I seriously don't believe it was suicidal. And then with you adding what you just said, that they just had a Nazi rally.
Yeah, I forgot to tell you about that.
Yeah,
We
that
talked
is-
about this off the show. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Okay, here we go once again with modern day lynching, which I'm sure there's. Well, they didn't say that because they said it was 4 whites. So this one is coming from news1.com, which has to do with 2 young black men lynched in Oklahoma. Lynched in Oklahoma by 4 whites, and is getting no media attention. Um, okay, let's see. Okay, so when people talk about modern lynching, R. Kelly and Bill Cosby are not legitimate examples. Raymond Smith, or Ramon Smith, and Jaron Moreland, both 21, are 2 men who were lynched in 2018. On April 18th, police found the dismembered bodies of the young men in a pond outside of Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Three white three white men and 1 white woman have been arrested for the crime. According to the WJLA.com, police arrested 22-year-old Kevin Garcia Butler, 43-year-old Johnny Shane Barker, and the 16-year-old brother of Garcia Butler, who police say is the suspected shooter. Their mother, Crystal Rachel Butler, 40, has also been charged with accessory after the fact. So this was a family thing. Seemed like it's crazy. From the mother to her children. According to the court records, on April 14th, Garcia Butler drove his brother to meet the 2 victims because he believed his brother was going to purchase a gun from Moreland. The sale was arranged through Craigslist, and the 2 parties agreed to meet in a nearby grocery store parking lot. Garcia told police that Moreland got out of a sedan and into the back seat of his van. He claims he heard a gun rack, and told police he witnessed his brother open fire, killing the 2 men. Sergeant Jeremy Lewis of the Moore Police Department said when Moreland and Smith entered the vehicle, the white men said they heard a gun being racked, so one of them fired 4 rounds. Meaning, when the white men heard the sounds of the gun being racked, they thought Ramon and Jaron were about to shoot, so they shot them. Sounds implausible that you would instantly and shoot and kill 2 people because of the sound of a gun being racked. Kevin Garcia, the 22-year-old, told police that he and his brother took the dead bodies to Barker, who helped them dispose of the bodies and clean the van. They tied cinder blocks to the bodies so they would sink in the pond. In addition, he told police they removed both victims' clothing and burned them in a barrel before dumping them in the water. Excuse me. According to the court documents, the team is charged with first-degree murder, second-degree murder, unlawful removal of a dead body, desecration of human corpse, and possessing a firearm after delinquent adjudication. Garcia is charged with accessory after the fact and unlawful removal of a dead body. Barker is charged with accessory after the fact, unlawful removal of a body, and desecration of a human corpse. This horrific news, and barely any outlets have covered it. Hopefully the young men's families get justice. Our thoughts go out to everyone affected by this tragedy. So that's all that they have on that one. Which, of course, and let me just say, because I'm not going to read the other article,
Snopes.com. Yep.
Snopes.com, of course, says that they feel as though this is a hoax, this is a false story.
No.
They're not a reliable source either, just FYI for you good people to know.
Why y'all be trying to use Snopes to prove that something is fake, an article or a story. And Snopes is not even a credible source. So
right, they're doing their little fact checks and all of that, trying to prove points and all of that.
Yeah,
so
y'all ain't doing nothing.
Right.
Go ahead with yourself.
Exactly. So yeah, that's really
bad.
They're just trying to cover all this
really
up.
Bad. Really bad.
It's all a cover up. That's all.
So that was that for mine, but certainly, I mean, go ahead.
I just want to wrap all this up with all this we just spoke about. Black people, man. This is a war we in. We don't have time to play games. We don't have time to play around. We don't have time to bullshit. It's time to get to work. Put in work. I ain't talking about rally march and all that. I'm talking about real work. Because we steadily are getting attacked. And it's not going to stop until we do something. And anyone that's against Black empowerment is an enemy to us. Especially Black people. The ones that are against us, there's no use for them. Because,
so speaking in general, the Blacks are against other Blacks. Is that what you're saying?
The ones who are against Black empowerment and elevating our people, they're enemies. We don't have time for them games either. So while we out here playing games, other oppositions, whether that's white or other races, are steadily killing us, hurting us, harming us in whatever fashion that may be to them. So we really got to get it together. Physically, mentally, emotionally, psychologically, spiritually, the number one thing. Spiritually, we got to educate ourselves. We got to get involved. We got to know thyself. We got to know who we are, where we come from. All this stuff is important. We got to have unity. We got to have economics. We got to have power. We got to have the whole combination in order to win this. But more so spiritual, because that's what it's about. Well, yeah, we definitely got to take our focus off stuff that's not important. Like with Kanye, I'm going to reference him in too. There's more important stuff to worry about than Kanye. Okay? And Jay mentioned Flint. We got to worry about the unclean, poisonous water in Flint, Michigan. Okay? We got to worry about all these Black children and Black teens who are going missing, whether that's Black boys or Black girls. We got to worry about them getting snatched up and never to be found. We got to worry about what Jay mentioned about Chicago and the violence, Chicago violence. We got to worry about that. How are we going to counteract that? So this thing's way bigger than Kanye. Just like the stuff that we entertain, all this fucking partying and drama and clubbing every fucking weekend and whatever low frequency shit that we do as people. It's bigger than that. We need to be worried about the things that's going to help us, the things that's going to empower us, the things that's going to make sure we self-persevere in the end. All this other shit is irrelevant, and that includes Kanye. His ass is irrelevant. Okay, the hell what the fuck he said. It's so much porn shit. How about North Korea and South Korea actually joined forces to fight the USA? Did anyone know that? Do anyone know that Hillary Clinton actually has a snuff video out? Yes, Hillary Clinton has a snuff video out. She's a fucking pedophile. Did you know that? But see, they put Kanye out here to distract you from what's going on for real out here in these streets. So we got to stay focused, people. Black people got to get focused. We got the faith into action. We got to get busy. It's not a game out here.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Those are conversations that's coming real soon. Definitely real soon. And to include the ongoing homelessness, where the rate is continuing to get higher and higher, where they're shutting down, they're putting people out of hospitals, mental hospitals.
Put them in the streets.
They put them in the streets. There's not enough shelters for people to stay at. They have to turn people away. People are hungry. Mental illness is on the rise. Suicide.
Satanism is at an all-time high.
Satanism is at an all-time high.
That is what I said.
They're growing. They're building more Satanist churches. People are becoming members. Black, white, green, blue, whatever.
No matter what race you are.
It's real.
It's a spiritual battle we in here.
Children.
Yep. They're indoctrinating the children to this mess.
Molested children, hurting our elders. You understand?
Sex trafficking.
Yes.
All kind of stuff.
All kinds of things. You know what I'm saying?
You right.
There was something else that I wanted to say, but I lost my train of thought. But so it's just a lot that's going on. Literacy. People not knowing how to read or write or fill out an application or go to a job interview or any of that. The crimes, like you said, are continuing to go up.
All these violent crimes.
All these things.
From whatever race. It don't matter.
Holistic doctors that are getting killed because Big Pharma doesn't want you to heal yourself naturally.
And they want you money.
And because they lose money, so they want you to continue to keep going to the doctors and giving them your hard-earned money so that they can continue to get rich off of us and take these wonderful vacations that they take, and so they can only put some band-aids, because it's not in their DNA to heal you. It's to put a Band-Aid on you for you to keep coming back and doing co-pays if you have
from your
insurance.
Ailments.
Right. And if you don't have insurance, then you just, you trying to make a decision. Do you want to go to the doctor to get that medicine for whatever ailment you have, or you don't go because you're hungry and you need to feed yourself and your family, because you're not getting no type of assistance, because clearly stupid ass people have really messed it up for individuals that do need some temporary assistance. If they do need it from the government, they have really screwed it up.
Yes, stupid ass people,
to the point where you can't get nothing, and you honestly need some help. I mean, our elders are getting like
abused in these
homes. or as far as like or assistance
homes.
Assistance where you can't you get like $10 in food stamps. Like, that's really going to do something for these elderly people.
Yeah, way more than
or
that.
even the disabled people. You understand what I'm saying? Mental or physical.
Getting mistreated.
Right. And so the elder abuse in these nursing homes or these facilities. So it's we did Kanye, but we're also letting you know.
Kanye.
We're also letting you know that it's a lot more than that. The picture is way bigger than that. So
fuck Kanye.
So please join us. Join our group, our Chit Chat Chew Show podcast group. Join it. Also, join our Chit Chat Chew. Is it still the LLC?
Yeah, page is still.
It's still the LLC. Like us on there. Share it. Let's get uncomfortable.
Get this video out. Let's have some conversation where we agree to disagree.
Exactly. And even though when we finish this live video, still when you hear us, leave comments after it. The conversation pieces on our shows don't stop.
Keep talking.
They don't.
We want
They
you
don't
to
stop.
talk. Right.
If you have a topic that you would like for us to talk about, email us.
Yeah.
Email us at
You open to that?
chitchatchew underscore show at yahoo.com.
As long as
Again,
there ain't no dumb stuff.
right. Because we ain't doing the dumb stuff. Don't
Come
ask
on
us
now.
to talk about love and hip hop.
No,
I'm
we're not.
sorry. You can watch that on your own and do whatever
Talk
you
about
need to do.
with your folks or whatever.
Right. That's fine. That's good. As one of our former guests has said, get your mojitos and mojitas, and y'all can, AKA by way of Jamie Martinez. Y'all guys can look at that, and there's no shade over here because he is awesome too.
Everybody got their
him
preference.
back.
Everybody got
So
their preference.
Exactly. Everybody has their
It's
preference.
all good.
So, but if you're interested, and again, if there's a topic that you'd like for us to talk about, we'll be open to hear it.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
Yeah.
If you're a guest and you're interested, email us at let me start that again. Email us at chitchatchew underscore show at yahoo.com.
Yeah.
If you're interested in being on the show, small, medium, large, don't matter. Okay, so
whatever platform you possess.
let me say this too. Gotta make this clear.
Ooh, I know where you're going. I'm with it. Ooh,
if you're going to be a guest on our show, and the way our platform right now is set up is that you will be doing a online live Facebook show. So just like when you're on your own Facebook
talking, running your mouth,
you're doing a live Facebook on your own platform, that's going to be the same setup here for us.
It's like you're doing a presentation.
Like a presentation.
A verbal live presentation.
And you're telling us some things about yourself personally.
Right.
You're telling us about your business or businesses that you have. And you're letting people know, sharing your knowledge and your suggestions and things of that nature, and how people can reach out to you. Please, we can't stress it enough, okay? Because she's off my page, but we had a guest.
I said her by name. The hell with subliminals. I said your name.
I'm not giving subliminals, but what I'm saying is that.
No, here, I'm not going to say her name.
Yeah.
I already said it already.
Mm-hmm, when you get done doing the show, do not delete the show, the video. Do not delete that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Please don't.
This is our business. This is not a hobby. This is a legitimate LLC that we pay money. Okay?
Yeah.
So please do not delete the live video when it's done. When it's done, just hit the post it on our business page that we're on right now. And if anything needs to be edited or tweaked or whatever,
cleaned up,
we will make sure that is.
I got it.
That's right. That Uno will
fuck
make sure.
me, I got it.
Please don't delete the video because
that's some intentional shit.
I'm just putting whoever. If you do stupid shit with us, it's just gonna come out of me. And I know I'm typically the nice, reserved, more so laid back, but I promise you on everything I love, and I don't love a whole lot of people, but I promise you on everything I love, I will expose you.
Because
we work hard.
Yeah,
when we ask you to like Chit Chat Chew Show podcast group, because that's the only way that you can do our show, please do that. Just do that. Especially if you're in business and you have your own page and you're doing it on your own page. It's the same setup. You're just doing it on our business page.
Right. Y'all acting like y'all slow. Like y'all don't know how to do a Facebook Live.
I had to say that.
But no, seriously, what's up with that? Like, why do people get all scared and amnesia when it comes to doing something else? Like, you on your page doing all this kind of stuff, so now you're saying you don't know how to fucking do it when it comes to somebody else's business, or you got to do an interview with them or a discussion or meeting. Like Jay said, it's the same setup. You just hit live, and then once it's done, you hit done and post it.
Post it.
Don't delete.
Post.
Stop acting like you don't know how to use Facebook Live. Come on, people.
Oh, one more thing, then I'm going to share my ending self. Also, please don't come. I understand. I appreciate all feedback. First, let me say that because I don't know everything. I appreciate all feedback, and I'm learning as I go. But if you want to make a donation to the Chit Chat Choose Show group, please go to www.chitchatchooseshow.com, because sometimes people get in their way and they say, well, you should have could have done it. Okay, it takes money. Let me just say that. I don't know who's doing things for free and how you do your setup, but our setup costs money if we want to do additional things. So I'm saying, if you want to make a donation for us to do that, or you just want to make a donation in general, again,
if you want to have input, won't you invest in the input? Invest in
that input, yes, to www.chitchatchooseshow.com. Again, www.chitchatchooseshow.com. There's a donation link. You are more than glad
to donate whatever
you can. And all funds go to our business.
To make this platform better for you.
Platform better for us.
And then you.
And then you guys.
That's all.
Okay, so we are where we at. Just know that.
All feedback is welcome, okay?
Oh, definitely. All feedback is welcome.
If there's something, you want to, let us know about or help us with, just say that. Communication. This is what is coming down to. Communication. Key. Please communicate with us. All right? Mm-hmm. That's all we're saying. Mm-hmm. But damn, y'all going to be doing crazy stuff now. Yeah, we have a right to go off.
Yeah.
Okay? You can't tell us how to react. Okay? So,
I know we have to be all professional.
But if you get in your feelings, that's your hang up. That's not our hang up.
Right.
So, hey, that's you. Yeah. We keeping the fuck moving. That's all I know.
Anywho, this was an awesome show. Thanks so much again, Judith, and whomever else listened or will be listening to this.
Thanks for the likes and the hearts. We thank you.
Yes, we appreciate, and hope that you guys continue to enjoy the rest of your week. May it be prosperous for you. Whatever challenges that you may be going through, I hope that you get things resolved or go down your journey of healing, whatever it may be. I just want to send love and much respect out to the universe for my dad. He passed away on this day, May 7th, 2014. I am still going through my grief and healing to that. Let me have that, people. So I just want to say, Donald Livingston, a.k.a. Duck, I love you. And I know you're watching me.
And I want to say rest in peace to your father.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
And,
it's a journey.
I hope he's in a better place.
I hope he's in a better place. And I look forward to my healing with that.
So, I might not know what you're going through, but I understand your emotions with your father passing. So, I respect that.
And for anyone else in general who may have currently lost a loved one, or you're still dealing with whatever you're dealing with, losing a loved one, many peace and blessings from myself as well as Chit Chat Chew Show. Many prayers go out to you.
Absolutely. Condolences as well.
So we're going to end this. Peace, love, and hair grease, as I say.
With the chain on the side.
With the chain on the
start
side.
Saying it. The chain on the side.
With the chain on the side and some curly hair and eyeglasses.
All right.
Enjoy, y'all. Peace.
Peace out.